DPP has served my powers in this particular file. DPP has taken over and committed the accused person to High Court.
Mbeera yo si nnungi mbi era yeeraliikiriza.
Never surrender. Never surrender. Never surrender.
Family of Council Lukwago, kindly meet up with the prison authorities and discuss the issues of the pillow and others.
We undertake your worship.
Yes, please meet up with them and explain to them. I don't think they will have a problem. But of course, where they have security concerns, they will address the same, such that you come up with the way forward. Otherwise, with that, Council Salongo, you're committed to High Court for trial at the next order.
Also solve those medications, painkillers. That is the only thing they can do. But the recommendation was that I go back, they fix this, which they cannot fix in
So the prayer is him to be taken to India?
Yes.
Yes?
Under God.
And you watch the more I delay, I'm advised, the more aggravated it has become. It will be. The more I delay, the more aggravated it will be to fix the problem of the spinal cord. And I've ever tested it before. Because the disc replacement which was done, I took some time to go to India for the disc replacement. Here in Uganda, they don't do disc replacement. They do anterior cervical dissectomy with the fusion. They just put in nuts and bolts, the fusion. But disc replacement, removing the herniated disc and replace it with an artificial one. That technology is not here. It can only be done here. And that's what was done here. So to go through an MRI to confirm this problem which has occurred on the disc that was replaced by an herniated one, I mean an artificial one, I need to go back to India. So this cannot be done at my school.
It's in the report.
Yes, it is in the report. I really need to make this known to the accused person and his defense team. DPP has served my powers in this particular file. DPP has taken over and committed the accused person to High Court.
We know government has capacity to shop around. Probably for them, they can expedite it and have it within a matter of days and give it to me, which has no recorders. Yes, if they
No,
can.
that was their fear. But Honorable has explained that they will explain the same. That was their fear, that it had a particular gadget, which according to them was being used to record.
No, the request I was making, Your Worship, that government can be directed to use their channels
Yes, they can procure it.
and procure it expeditiously, so that I don't go through the trouble of ordering for it, because these power hearing sounds, they have to test me first and foremost. And the voice you had only one, but there are many depending on what you are feeling. There is that one. If I'm feeling that one, then I keep changing. So they have to test the ears. And then they tell me, you need this. But government has capacity to do this. For me, I'm incapacitated. Where I am even moving from the place where I'm detained to the reception is a tug of war. But government can work out mechanisms of getting me this facility, so that I stop using these sedatives, which are not only addictive, but dangerous to my life. Imagine using sedatives every night.
Abamwagala kitegeeza ku nnaku ez'okumukyalira Katonda bw'anaaba akyamutuwadde mujja kumukyalira e Luzira. Ffe tujja kukola buli ekisoboka okulaba nga tuddamu okununula munnaffe atambule. Bimenya naye bisoboka. Era tulina okukkiriza nti Katonda ng'atambudde naffe, ekyokumununula kijja kusoboka. Ekirungi tetutidde, kubanga obujulizi bwe baleese tebumulumika. bateebereza buteebereza nti olw'okuba mukwano gwa gundi tuteebereza nti yatambula bw'ati ne mukwano gwe ayinza okuba ng'amanyiiko. Enjogera y'Abaganda egamba nti mbuulira gw'oyita naye. So ekitweraliikiriza n'otutiisa ly'ebbanga lino ettono ly'anaamala nga ggaliddwa ate nga mulwadde, naye tetutya musango kumusinga kubanga tukkiriza nti teyaguzza. Omusango ogumuvunaanibwa si kuba nti teyakola kino nti yakola kino, wabula nti mbu yamanyaako n'atakola lugambo. Gwe gwokka tuteebereza nti gundi oyo ateekwa okuba yakubuulirako. Tulina aboolugambo lwaffe bangi naye wagaana okubeera omu ku bo. Kyekyoka ekimuvunaanibwa. Naye mutusabire embeera y'obulamu bwe mugyewuliriddeko, mugyerabiddeko, saagala kugiddamu. Bwe nnaagiddamu nja kulemererwa okukola bye nnina okukola. Munsabire ŋŋume nsigale nga ndi looya okusobola okukola omulimu guno ogw'okutaasa munnaffe. He has restrictive lung disease. So you have moved from cardiology, hypertension, lung, gut, and you're moving, as found by the doctors, the gastroenterology review at page 7. Dr. Apika or Apicha? Apicha, APICA, found that the accused has a non-erosive gut or erophagia and explains it as excessive swallowing of air. Now, together with belching, which you must have witnessed, Part D, if you are not worried enough about the first, Part D finds cervical spine X-ray which notes post arthroplasty, which is ARTH, ROP, LASTY, arthroplasty status of the cervical spine, which is a feature of cervical spondylosis. I have addressed your worship on the reported mild cylindrical bronchitis with hiatus hernia. The hiatus hernia is right here. And if you do some research, it tells you that beyond certain levels, it translates into cancer of the esophagus. Then lumbar spine X-ray reveals a new complex that we did not know before, that he has not been treated for before. And that is the review of the ENT specialists. Dr. Biso, D-I-B-I-S-S-O. Number 1 was the ringing in the left ear for the last 4 years. Number 2 is the feeling of fullness more in the left ear. As compared to the right for the last 4 years. Fullness. It is hearing of fullness. More in the left ear than the right ear. As if it is filled up with something. Number 3 is muffled hearing. Muffled is M-U-F-F-L-E-D. Hissing sounds in both ears. Hissing. H-I-S-S. Vibrations in the left ear. Number 6 is anosmia since childhood. Anosmia is A-N-O-S-M-I-A. Number 7, frequent desire to clear the throat. And I believe you have observed that. And then other concerns were noted. By the doctor. Your Worship, when you go to page 7, B, the pulmonologist review. Explains what I discussed earlier as the effect of the post-COVID-19 situation, that it continues to suffer and that is irreversed and irreversible. That's what the doctors note. Now, these are the findings of Dr. Worodria.
I am alive to his medical concerns, and that's why I specifically made an order for him to be examined and treated if any. At this stage, I cannot make an order referring the accused person to India. This can be achieved through an application of bail in the High Court, which has been done by Honorable Medad Segona. This has been done because at this stage, this court has no power in this particular matter. So we cannot be making orders in a matter which this court has no jurisdiction. So, Counsel Salongo Elias, your team has applied for bail in the High Court. My advice would be that Honorable Medad clearly follows up and have the same fixed as early as possible, such that your medical needs can be dealt with. On the issue of the pillow, it was brought up last time. I followed up with the prison authorities, and they intimated to court that it had a gadget which was recording, according to them. Yes, I'm reporting back. Yes, I'm reporting back. It had a gadget which was recording, which wasn't in conformity with the security details in Luzira. This is according to the OC, Maction Bay. So as regards the pillow, my take would be, please let your team liaise still with prison authorities, because prison has its own guidelines. Let the team liaise with the prison authorities such that they can make arrangements. Because according to them, the pillow had a gadget which was recording, and the plot overturned the government of Uganda by force of arms. A forensic extract of the record of their conversation shall be relied upon during the trial. That KB attended another meeting on the 24th of January 2024 in Geneva, Switzerland, which was also attended by AW and JW. At this meeting, KB assured AW that he was committed to facilitate the training of his people to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. In this meeting, KB and JW further requested AW to assassinate the President of the Republic of Uganda using a drone strike. KB undertook to provide AW with the President's movement routine and vulnerable points to facilitate his assassination. In exchange for AW's assistance, KB and JW undertook to grant the Kurdish government company access to Uganda banking sector to launder money, permit the use of Uganda's airfields for trafficking illicit goods, including drugs, use Uganda as a safe haven for Kurdish fugitives, and generally permit the use of Uganda for illicit activities once the plot to overturn the government was successful. That by virtue of his leadership position in PFF, the accused was aware of all the meetings between KB, Frank Chihere at Kunda, JW and AW in Geneva, Switzerland, and the plot to overturn the government of the Republic of Uganda by force of arms, but deliberately did not report to any authority. That on the 14th day of June 2024, KB attended a meeting with AW and JW in Geneva, Switzerland. In this meeting, the participants further discussed the plot to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. KB requested AW to arrange for the training of a selected group of like-minded conspirators from Uganda, who included Samuel Makoha in Kisumu, Kenya, in intelligence gathering, surveillance operations, espionage techniques, and use of drones to be used in overturning the government of Uganda. In the same meeting, KB and JW repeated their request for AW to supply them with counterfeit Ugandan currency, drones, weapons, and grenades, which they codenamed pineapples. KB provided AW with airstrip coordinates 21735 N32134 E6 GHH72VH plus 2P 72VF plus 2P length of strip, 1,900 meters, 6,233 feet, altitude, 5,266 feet, 1,605 meters, MSC, in DRC for airdropping of weapons. KB further informed the meeting that he intended to use part of the Zambian territory for training and logistics. At the same meeting, AW gave KB $5,000 to facilitate the movement of Makoha Samuel and other selected Ugandan trainees from Uganda to Kisumu in Kenya for training. That the accused knew of the meeting in Kisumu, took part in the mobilization, and authorized the travel of the participants from PFF, who included Samuel Makoha, for the said training in Kisumu, Kenya, with the intention of overturning the government of the Republic of Uganda by force of arms. That during the meeting of 29 September 2024, KB and AW agreed as a way forward to hold a meeting in Nairobi, Kenya, where KB would be able to meet the Kurdish Iraq contact for AW. KB and AW continued communicating to each other via WhatsApp on mobile lines +41 77 81 38 990 and +19 54 39 40 141 respectively. The WhatsApp communication chats between KB and AW about convening the Nairobi meeting will be tendered and relied upon in court during the trial. The group agreed to have a follow-up meeting later in Nairobi, Kenya, that the said meeting of 29 September 2024 was recorded separately by AW and another individual who was AW's agent. The recordings will be tendered and relied upon in court during trial. That on the 16th day of November 2024, KB Hajobed Lutale, together with AW and his Kurdish contact, attended a meeting at 108 Riverside Apartment in Nairobi, Kenya, to further discuss the plot to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. The Nairobi meeting was attended by KB Hajobed Lutale, AW and his Kurdish contact, who was posing as a representative of the Kurdish government company. At this meeting, KB introduced Hajobed Lutale as his personal assistant and a person who was part of the plot to overturn the government of Uganda. At this meeting, KB repeated his request to be supplied with surface-to-air missiles and other weapons to attack helicopters and aircrafts as one of the ways to overturn the government of Uganda. KB and Hajobed Lutale also briefed the meeting about their plot to instigate civil disobedience strikes in Uganda, starting with assassination of the President of the Republic of Uganda in March 2025 in order to achieve their objectives. That being the leader of PFF, the accused was aware that KB and Hajobed Lutale, who are also members of PFF, traveled to Nairobi, Kenya, and attended a meeting with AW, whose sole aim was to overturn the government of the Republic of Uganda, but he still did not report it to any authority in Uganda. That the accused also knew that JW and Frank Cherera Tkunda approached AW for assistance in a plot to overturn the government of the Republic of Uganda by force of arms, but did not report it to any authority in Uganda. That the accused further knew that KB had approached AW and that the two, KB and AW, together with JW, had held several meetings in various places in which they contrived a plot to overturn the government of the Republic of Uganda by force of arms, but still did not report it to any authority in Uganda. That on the 17th day of November 2024, KB and Hajobed Lutale were handed over to the Ugandan security officers from Defense Intelligence and Security at Malaba border, together with several exhibits, which included their mobile phones, 2 pistols and other items. The two were later charged at the General Court Martial in Machinde with offences under the UPDF Act by UPDF GCM 040-2024. However, following the decision of the Supreme Court in the case of Attorney General versus Honorable Michael and others, the matter was taken over by the Uganda Police Force, which conducted fresh investigations from 12th of February 2025. As a result, KB Hajobed Lutale and RO12743 Captain Owoladeni Shoya were charged with treason and misprision of treason via Nakawa criminal case, criminal case number A008-2025, 0285-2025, and CID headquarters E033-2025, and committed to High Court for trial. That the accused was examined on PF24 and found to be of normal mental status. The medical report will be tendered and relied upon during the trial. That police investigations retrieved immigration records and travel history of KB, Hajobed Lutale, Simon Rutarondwa, and others. The records were analyzed and confirmed that the various individuals traveled outside Uganda during the periods of the alleged meetings and trainings. The immigration documents and records shall be tendered in court. That since 2021 and all along, AW was constantly providing updates to his handlers within Uganda's military intelligence. He covertly recorded both on video and audio all relevant meetings with KB, Hajobed Lutale, JW, and other conspirators, and shared these recordings with intelligence officers in CMI. He later handed over the electronic gadgets used to make the recordings and the audio-video recordings to investigators. These were forensically examined, and the resultant examination reports shall be relied upon at the trial. That prosecution shall contend that the accused knew KB, Hajobed Lutale, Simon Utarondwa, Joel Wakaima, Franka Tkunda were intending to commit treason but did not report it to any authority
in Uganda or use reasonable endeavor to prevent the commission of treason. That prosecution shall further contend that the accused person indicted in this case acted with common intention and in concert with others and is culpable as such. Whereupon prosecution shall contend that the accused person does not have any valid defense to the indictment and he should be convicted as indicted. Forum for Democratic Change, both of which were founded by Colonel Dr. Kiza Besigye Chifefe. That before joining PFF, that is People's Front for Freedom, the accused was a member of the Democratic Party and Forum for Democratic Change, respectively. Until May 2026, the accused was the Lord Mayor of Kampala City and Member of Parliament for Kampala Central. That throughout his political career, he has been a critic of the current ruling government and has participated in activities aimed at ousting the government of the Republic of Uganda together with Colonel retired Dr. Kiza Besigye Chifefe, herein referred to as Kebi, Honorable Semuju Nganda and Honorable Salam Musumba, among others. That Colonel retired Dr. Kiza Besigye Chifefe is a retired Uganda People's Defense Forces officer, having served the army in various senior positions previously. He is also a founding member of the Forum for Democratic Change political party, that is FDC, where he served as its president for several years. He is also a former multiple presidential candidate in Uganda. That Kebi, when I say Kebi, I refer to Kiza Besigye, has been fiercely opposed to the current National Resistance Movement government. Over time, he has openly expressed his desire to change the leadership of the country through violent means such as the infamous walk to work political protest and the defiance campaign. That Haj Obed Lutale is a member of the People's Front for Freedom and a personal assistant to KP. That RO 12743, Captain Owola Denishoya, is a UPDF officer attached to the Armored Brigade. That Andrew Wilson, herein referred to as AW, is a proprietor of a private security company that deals in various security-related services, including sale of firearms, investigations, and tactical training on firearms, among others, since 2003. That sometime in the year 2021, Andrew Wilson, was contacted by Mr. Joel Wakaima, herein referred to as JW, a Ugandan citizen who was based in Switzerland. JW informed AW that he needed a company to provide firearms, weapons, and training to some Ugandans, both domestic and in the diaspora, to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. JW requested AW to execute the work for him. That upon listening to the details of the requests of JW, AW realized that it was criminal and decided to search for Ugandan authorities to report the matter. AW was provided with the contacts of the commander of the Ugandan contingent of AMZON, a senior UPDF officer who at the time was based in Somalia. AW narrated to the UPDF officer that JW was planning to do and inquired what to do. The UPDF officer requested AW to become a government spy and to continue engaging JW in order to establish the details of the plot to overturn the government of Uganda, which AW accepted. AW was introduced to intelligence officers at the then Chief Nurse of Military Intelligence, CMI, under whose supervision he continued to work and to whom he regularly reported all the activities. That AW then continued to engage with JW over the next 2 years until 2023, when JW introduced AW to Salam Musumba. AW had a conversation with Salam Musumba by Zoom call, and the proceedings of this meeting were recorded by AW. During this meeting, Salam Musumba requested for the training of their people in covert communications and intelligence gathering techniques for the purpose of spying on the government of the Republic of Uganda. That Salam Musumba subsequently requested for a meeting with AW in Brussels, Belgium, where she invited many other people to attend, including the accused, Elias Lukwago, Honorable Semuju Nganda, Lubega Mukaku, and Charles Romshana. In the discussions at this meeting, AW accepted to join the plot to overturn the government and agreed to be their security and military advisor. The accused was aware of the meeting, that is Elias Lukwago was aware of the meeting between AW and Salam Musumba, but did not report it to any authority. The discussions at this meeting were recorded by AW and the recording shall be relied upon at the trial. That upon building sufficient trust in AW, Salam Musumba requested JW to introduce AW to KB. This was done, and the two, AW and JW, had an online discussion with KB about the grand plot to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. This culminated into the first physical meeting between KB, that is Kizabesje, and AW on the 29th of October 2023 at Geneva, Switzerland. That the first physical meeting was held in Geneva, Switzerland on the 29th of October 2023 and was attended by AW, KB, Frank Chihere Atkunda, and JW. At this meeting, the group discussed the plot to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. KB requested for military assistance from AW to destabilize Uganda. KB also requested AW to train some of his allies in covert intelligence and paramilitary tactics, which request AW accepted. KB further requested for counterfeit Ugandan shillings with the intention to seek into the economy of Uganda through his collaborators, who he stated to be officials in Bank of Uganda, as a means of raising finance for KB's objectives and also destabilize the economy. In the same meeting, KB, JW, and Frank requested for racine poison, to poison targeted government officials. That further in the same meeting, KB provided AW with a list of government security installations and military facilities like the 2nd Division, Makenke Barracks, Bugembe Barracks, Bihango Military School, Kachoma Mountain Brigade, Kabarole, Gaddafi Military Barracks in Jinja, Magamaga Military Barracks in Mayuge District, Marine Division, Luzira, Air Force Academy, Nakasongola, Engineering College, Lugazi Senior Staff College, Chimaka, Singo, Karubuta Training School, Toroko Military Intelligence and Security School in Nakasongola District, Machinde Military Barracks, Police School Webaje, and Oliver Tambo, Kweweta, among others, as targets for attacks. That after agreeing to conduct a training in Kisumu, Kenya, Frank Chiherere Atkunda traveled to Uganda with KB to organize their intended group of people for training. The proceedings of the above meeting were recorded using a covert camera by AW, and the same will be relied upon during the trial. That KW and AW created a strong communication, that is, or relationship through social media, including WhatsApp. KB provided AW with his Swiss contact line number, that is +4177 8138 990, through which he frequently